Hello, welcome to the stream. And finally, the uh, the patch 2.1 has been released right after the campfire chat, and I was able to just listening to the campfire chat this this morning, and then I also read the patch notes, just browsing and then reading those important updates that I'm looking for, and there were some big changes that I think there will be a good. It will be a good season for the Necromancer this next season. And today I'm going to just go over, and I'm just gonna discuss and check those updates on the patch notes, and then I'm just gonna make my own opinion on what are the changes, and then what are the new changes that will impact the build of especially the Necromancer. So I will not go over with the other classes. I'm just gonna go over with those the base game updates, and then the base game updates, and then why did the screen black out? And again, hope everyone is having a wonderful day. And let me check, and maybe let's no, it should be here. Let's zoom this out a bit. Okay, I think it's fine. I think it looks okay. All right. So here is the patch 2.1 notes. So base game balance changes. So I believe so the blue, the text highlighted in blue. So these are the changes from the PTR. So there was already a PTR patch notes, and then this one is now the official updated patch notes for the season 7. So witch powers, fire servants. So they have made some changes for that fire servants. The abyssal resonance, and then the frequency, hex of flames, okay, aura blement. So they increase also the resource. I think we have seen this already on the build planner. It's already been updated. And then poison frog, hex of whispers. I think this changes, was it already on the craft powerful occult gems, master the witchcraft? I think it was already here. Oh, sorry if I'm scrolling too fast. Yeah, I believe it was already reflected here on the preview of the the season 7 for the season of witchcraft. Okay, let's go back with the patch 2.1. So I believe everything is pretty much straightforward, and it was already reflected on that the season of witchcraft post. And so the general, so this is now the aphogic furor. So they have reduced from where is it, 18 to 10 maximum. So from 180 to, so they reduced it to 100. So I think it's okay because I have seen already the damage of the, for example, the Army of the Dead. It's really dealing a lot of damage. So I think it's fine just to balance it a bit. But I hope that the reduction of this ultimate skill damage doesn't really brought down the damage of especially our ultimate skill. And then this one, I believe when I was playing the PTR, this vehement brawlers aspect, this is the decisive resolution. And I think if we go back here, let's go with probably let's go with our Army of the Dead that I have already created yesterday. So early game, mythic, then decisive resolution. This one, see the icon disappeared. So I think there's no more decisive. There's no more because this is really the vehement. So it is now vehement brawlers aspect, not the decisive resolution. Okay, anyway. So the ultimate skill ranks are reduced from 4 to 2. So ultimate rank 5 bonuses, scale 2 or more attributes have been adjusted due to scaling incorrectly and gaining too much value. Okay. And then okay, I think that's fine. So we're not go over with the barbarian, so just bear with me as I scroll. It will be maybe just close your eye for a bit. Sorry. Anyway, so Necromancer. Necromancer, so the skill enhanced Bone Spear. So now Bone Spear makes the first enemy hit vulnerable for 3 seconds and then breaks into bone shards, dealing 25 damage each. If I'm not mistaken, this one is the third. Is it the third? How about we go with where is the season 6? Bone Spear. Okay, where is our skill tree? Bone Spear. Enhanced Bone Spear. So 3 shards dealing 25 damage each. This one, the supernatural. So the text, the skill of the supernatural Bone Spear is now added into the enhanced Bone Spear. Okay, so this one, so the this text, so this one was the one of the thirds. This is the supernatural Bone Spear. This one. And then this is the original enhanced Bone Spear. Now, the supernatural Bone Spear during the PTR is this. Now, Bone Spear deals 40% more overpowered damage and restores this one. Take a look on this one. This one, not the whole thing. This one. Maximum life after overpowering. Take note, if we recall, I think it was on the did I discuss it yesterday? I believe I mentioned it. Yes, I think I have discussed it yesterday. It was on the that Season of Witchcraft notes, wherein the Bone Duster is enemies hit inside the bone prison. When you have that Bone Duster's aspect equipped, your Bone Spear is now guaranteed to overpower. So every time that it hits enemies inside the bone prison, the Bone Spear will now guarantee to overpower. And now, the reason why they have this one, this is to be more consistent, and no, not consistent, to be efficient with regards to the Indira's memory. Unique pants, because the Bone Spear to become a blood skill and to do its unique power, you need to pay 10% of your max life in order to cast the Bone Spear using that pants. So now with the 5% life, at least we were able to restore the we were able to pay the 10% life cost. Now we have 5% more that we can still that we still need to add in order to mitigate 100% the 10% max life cost. And if I'm not mistaken, there is another way, and from what I know, the willpower increases our healing effects. But in order to make that 5% to make it 10%, basically double, so you need 100% of increased healing. And as far as the healing is concerned, with regards to the Necromancer's node, most of the great healing effects, increase of healing, comes from the blood orb. And the blood orb, we can still use it in order to restore our life whenever the bone spear overpower. But there is other ways in order to make the life restoration, to mitigate the 10% more efficient. And the one I'm talking about is, and I believe I have mentioned this when I was discussing during the PTR, and this is the defensive aspect called the Undying. At the maximum, this is 2.5 increase in life. So now we are missing 2.5% more. I don't want to utilize to take advantage of the new witch power, because I still want to make a combination in order to, even the next season wherein there is no other healing sources, like I believe one of the best healing sources on this season 7 is the unique growth and decay witch power, that it grows a flower and then it heals you. So, and if I'm not mistaken, let's grab our blood surge, and then let's open its stats, and then so that we can see how much healing that we can. So 2.5. So we need, if I will do the math, so 5% from the supernatural bone spear plus the Undying. And Undying is there any condition? I think all you need to do is just cast the skill. Undying. Casting a skill heals you. Okay, of course, but we don't want to do we don't want to be low, 50% low in life. Otherwise, our overpower damage is like gonna be not that powerful. So healing. There is a passive node. There is a passive skill on the Necromancer skill tree that we're not being used, which is this one. But the problem with that on this season, what I have noticed, it doesn't add that healing. Healing receive 50.9. Where are you, sir? It doesn't add. So, and then healing receive, we have 50.9, and I think the 50.9 is coming from, one is from our willpower, and on our Paragon board we have the general healing sources. Healing. Not that one. Blood orb. No, not blood orb. This one, see? Oh no, sorry, this one. So there's this one, and then there's this one, and then there's another one here that we didn't took. Where else? 50 life. That's it. Blood orb healing. Blood orb, blood orb. Everything is for blood orb. So I only have only a +3. And then I have willpower at 35.9. Where is the rest of my healing is coming from? Oh. Huh? That's, nothing changed. So, that's interesting. Anyway, so even at 50%, so we have 7.5 plus 50%. We have 10% to heal from the undying and from that from our supernatural bone spear. However, I don't know if this is already fixed that we can also use this one. This will add a maximum of 30%, and this is plus. This is plus. So I believe it will add on that 50. Let's say you have 50. This one will add on top of that. So I will also gonna check this on the when the season 7 is live. Excuse me. So okay, let's go back to the continue with our patch notes. So this is good, right? So at least we don't worry about, say, using the gore quills and the bloodlands in order to pick up the blood herbs to keep us to get us healed. So now the bone spear, at least it was able to mitigate that 5% max 5% life restore on that on the unit pants life cost. And then this one, so during the PTR, the scaling of the Army of the Dead at rank 5, this is the bonus, this is the damage scaling bonus at rank 5 of the Army of the Dead. Initially it was 125 and it was dealing around almost close to 20 billion damage. And then I believe they have reduced it to 80. Now they have reduced it to 40. I think it's still okay. I think it's still okay. Even though there was also a nerf with the Aphogic Führer, I think it should be okay. At least, you know, we don't want a build that is really dealing enormous amount of damage, like what's happening with the Spiritborn. Anyway, so same thing with the Blood Wave. So they have also reduced it from 60 to 30. Because on the unique pants, especially the Casime's Legacy, there is already a huge multiplier damage, including the like, especially if you're talking about the Blood Wave, there's also a 240%. Is it 240 or 120 basic multiplier on a one hand value of the tidal aspect. Okay, then Bone Storm, I still don't know if Bone Storm is still viable as a for the ultimate skill that you can use to make it as your main damage dealer. I mean, it would be awesome to have those. I mean, equipping the lidless wall, and then you're gonna spawn a lot of this Bone Storms, and then Supreme Bone Storm, so increase critical strike chance while Bone Storm is, and now it's a crit chance and attack speed are increased by 20% while Bone Storm is active. This is good. Then this one, legendary aspects, the Bone Dusters. Now, Bone Spear is guaranteed to overpower enemies within Bone Prison and deal increased damage to them. So it gains an additional increased damage again. And so it means to say that even though so this is what I'm thinking, which one is better? Since with the help of this Bone Dusters aspect, wearing the Casime's, the Indira's memory, Every time at the end, after casting the blood wave, at the end of the blood wave, it will spawn a bone prison. So when we cast now our bone spear, all of the enemies inside will receive, our bone spear will guarantee to overpower, I would say, every time, as long as the bone spear hits the enemies inside the bone prison. As long as we need to ensure that we can always cast the bone storm, the blood wave, plus we need to cast maybe we can still equip our bone prison just in case we need a bone prison to cast, if let's say the blood wave is not yet ready. But if the bone spear is now blood, and then we can add those tempering affix for the blood attack speed, we are casting the blood spear, the bone spear, fast enough. And according to the pants, right, the pants is reducing the cooldown of the blood wave every time that we cast the bone spear, reducing its cooldown by 2 seconds. So I guess we can cast the blood wave all the time. Then we can always prison the enemies with that bone prison. And then the Deathless Visage, this one, critical strike damage increased from 32, now it's added an additional 10%, and then echo damage scaling from 20 critical strike damage to 25. Let's check the Deathless Visage. It says here, Bone Spear leaves behind echoes as it travels and explodes, dealing this damage. From what I know, this is a flat damage, and then increased by 5% for every 20% of your critical strike damage bonus. Increased by 25 for every 20% of your critical strike damage bonus. Echo damage scale increased from 20 to 25. It says here increased. Increased by 25% for every 20. Increase from 20% of critical strike damage. Is it a nerf? Increased by 5% for every 20%, unless no, it says from 20 to 25. Increase from 20 of critical strike damage bonus to 25. Echo damage scaling. Yeah, it scales by 5% for every 25%. If the 20% that they're referring to is the 20% here, it says here for every 20%. The lesser the value of that every number, it says for every blank percent, the lower the number, the greater the multiplier of the critical strike damage. Say you have a 100 critical strike damage, 20% of that is your, then you multiply that with the 5%. Increase by 5%. 5% for every 20%. So 5% times, so if you have 100% of your critical strike damage divided by 20, so you have 5 times 5, so you now have a 25% multiplier. Now if you were saying for every 25% now, then it reduced. Unless that 5%, but it didn't say that it's from 5% to 25%. It refers to the 20. I haven't seen that Deathless Visage What if I change this to season 7? What is this now? Bone Spear deal more critical strike damage and forms echo that bursts into for physical damage. Ah, okay. So this is now the new statement. So if when I play the Bone Spear, I think if we look closely on the text now, and forms echoes that burst, it is now leaving a trail of echoes. So does it means that the echoes are now forming on the enemies, and then it explodes on them? Then this is now much more better. Bone Spear deals more critical strike damage. And then it still has that physical damage, flat value physical damage. And then that one increased by 5%. I think that is, so I think it is not, it is a nerf. Basically, it's not a nerf. It's just they lower down the multiplier of that 5% multiplier from our critical strike damage, because they are already giving us that 40 to 60% more critical strike damage. Just to make it balance, I would say. So I think that is fine. So that is fine. I think that's fine. It's like I was worried that oh, the multiplier is getting low, but we are getting that additional this one. I think if I'm not mistaken, this is just a preview of the changes, and then there will be a full list of the changes on the items, and then basically for everything for the Necromancer on the later page of this post. So yeah, Bone Storm. So Lidless Wall, additional Bone Storms now spawns closer together, and then critical strike damage per active Bone Storm increased from 10 to 20%. Okay, that's good. I hope instead of the Lidless Wall, maybe they could make this as a, instead of a shield, maybe and make it an offhand, because making it a shield, and then I think what it provides is a block chance. I don't know what is the implicit affix of the Lidless Wall now, because the Lidless Wall provides armor though. Okay, I'm gonna skip the Rogue and the Sorcerer. Enhancement, legendary aspects. I think still for the Rogue. Still for the Rogue. Miscellaneous tooltips or blah blah blah. I think this is just for like bug fixes. Yeah, well, it says here bug fixes. Yeah. So for that is for the Vessel of Hatred, and then the Season of Witchcraft. I think there's not very important thing here that I need to point out here. I think everything is straightforward and not a big deal in terms of a big impact with regards to dispatch notes. And then general accessibility, okay. Fix an issue where the screen reader did not read out loadout names in the armory. Okay. Gameplay, general, fix an issue where this Druid. Okay, so now this is the gameplay bug fixes on the for example for the Necromancer for all classes. So for Necromancer, fix an issue where the aspect of oh, this one this one, I believe I have a clip. I made the clip of the item, like, why am I getting this elemental constellation? And then it says for the sorcerer, like, This is not for the Necromancer. This is for the Sorcerer. Why am and I basically I'm always getting this one. I'm always getting this one. I believe always on the ring. Is it on the ring and I'm always getting this one? I don't know if somebody was able to read or was able to watch my clip, or maybe somebody else like have already observed and then point out this issue to the forums. Fix an issue where summoning damage affixes will always display 0. I think this is it was it's on the PTR, but I guess they have fixed that already. Fix an issue where tooltip for the buffs granted by the cadaver's aspect reference course instead of referencing ultimate skills. Okay. Fix an issue will sword rift would generate more barrier than intended when combined with another source of barrier. Okay. Alright. Here we go. Miscellaneous various visual UI performance and stability improvements. Excuse me. Alright. The Vessel of Hatred. New items. Aspect of the Talons. I think this is new items for the Spiritborn. Sustained War Crozier. How do you pronounce it? Crozier? Crozier? Anyway, so new runes. The Nagu. 100 offering generated. Maintain at least one active summon. Gaining offering up to 6 summons. Gaining offering for each up to 6 summons. So the way I understand this, so if you have without the Occult Dominion for the Necromancer, 4 skeletons and then 3 mages, so we have 7. So maximum we can already reach up to maximum of 6 summons. So 6, each of them will generate 100 offering. So does it mean maintain at least one active summon for 5 seconds? So we're getting like 100 times 6, so 600. How does it work? Like 600 per second? Anyway, then legendary 25 offering generated, stores offering every 3-second, cast a non-basic skill to gain the stored offering up to 500 offering, stores offering every 3 seconds. So the way this this rune is, you are casting a non-basic skill. So this is for a basic skill build wherein you are keep on casting the basic skill, and then if you see that the offering has already if the ritual has already reached its maximum offering, then when you cast a non-basic skill, then boom, you can make a release the offering in order to trigger a effect, an invocation rune. And then the Chak rune, I think your offering is 220 weapon damage, and then you get a 20% offering. And then balance update, and then overflow, spawn more. Okay, so balance update, I'm not going over with the Spiritborn. So just bear with me. I'm just gonna keep scrolling down. I'm not going to be I'm not going to do it too fast. Mercenaries. Oops. Give me a second. So I guess that's only for the so that is the Vessel of Hatred thing. Then the Mercenaries, bartering caches, crafting material cache, rewards now skill with Tormenteers. Cache can now drop iron and rawhide. Boss material cache. Gold now scales with Tormenteers. Masterworking cache of the side and elbows now scale with Tormenteers. Augment cache. Gems are now scale with Tormenteers. Runes are now guaranteed to drop in Torment difficulties, and the amount scales in Tormenteers. Rapport track caches. Masterworking cash of the side drop from 30 to 100. Local mercenary events rewards have been adjusted to be more in line with other events. Increase the amount of pale marks earned. Okay. Let me... Before my character goes to sleep. Okay. Runes, to better highlight the unique gameplay aspect of rune words, we reduce the average cost of runes, and overflow bonuses have been added to every invocation rune. So the knock, now gain half of the offering, inflicting a slow or chill. The seer rune. Okay, seer rune. Previously, cast the same non-channeled skill 3 times and then you gain 50 offering. And I believe the cooldown is 1 second. Now, casting 5 skills, then become exhausted for 3 seconds. So, the first initial offering, so you need to cast 5 skills, for then you gain an offering of 300. That is huge. Then 3 seconds, depending on what type of... I think this seer rune is now ideal for, like, for example, the Sal rune. If we're doing the overpower, the Sal rune, I believe that's also 300. So 300, and then you activate the Sal rune, and then the Sal rune is, if I'm not mistaken, is it 300 or 250? Anyway, we can check it out later. Well, we can check it out now. Sal, 300 offering. Okay, so 300 offering. So in one cast, after one activation, we can now and then give me a second. How many? So gain 20% life, maximum life for 6 seconds. So therefore, the cooldown is 3 seconds, so the remaining 3 seconds before the Sal rune expires, so you have a 3-second window in order to cast the 5 skills again, in order to activate again the Sal rune. I think it's fine. It's good. However, the Moni for the early build, this is very useful. Oh, I think, is it Moni? Yeah. Cast a skill while moving. Now, it is only now for the mobility or macabre skill who can activate this ritual rune. And then invocation rune, summon spirit, quaz, Zek. Zek is now... Okay, this one is now good. This one is now more consistent, that every 100 that you offer, then it reduced the cooldown by 1 second, and then the cooldown is 1 second. Then you can recast it again. Make your ritual, and then activate it again. I think if we're going to use for the Army of the Dead, I think the Zekron in combination with the Zerun would be better. You will overflow 3 times. Then if we overflow 3 times, then the cooldown is 3. But give me a second, 3. But the cooldown is 3. So it's almost the same. And then you have to cast again. I think anything that close to... Maybe the Tam rune is still okay. The Tam rune would still be okay. Casting a skill, a non-channeled skill, then it will give, I think, 30 or 25 rune. Where are you? Tam. 25. Cast a non-channeled... a non-channeled core skill. Non-channeled core skill. So therefore the Tam, we cannot use this for the Army of the Dead, because we don't have any core skill. that we're using except the Blight. But we're not spamming the Blight. Anyway, well, Nagu is still there. We can use Nagu here if we have our minions. If we're using the minions on our play. Sand Rune offering reduce this. Offering the Vex +1 to skills. Well, this one is good though. You gain up to +3 to all skills for 10 seconds, and the offering is only 150. So again, if you're using the Seer Rune to this one, you can get right away +2. But if you're using Nagu here, then right away you can get a maximum of 3. That's interesting. Because +2 all skill is so important with the Army of the Dead, not just to increase its damage, but also to reduce its cooldown further. Okay. Yom, the Jaw, Teb, Salrune. Now it overflowed, not the cooldown, not the duration of the Salrune. Now it gained more life when you overflow. However, it is now increased from 200 to 300. Anyway, I think it's still fine. Sick Rune, Cry, Tech. Now spawn a Pestilent Swarm, Overflow, increased duration, Soul, updated tooltips. Okay. Miscellaneous rare rune rarity has been adjusted on tormented bosses. There is now a chance for the Infernal Horde materials chest to drop an Undercity tribute with when opened with 200 or more ether. Bug fixes. Cross Undercity, Dark Citadel, the runes,
more loyal friends,
mercenaries, miscellaneous. Okay. Alright. Base game. Game updates, new items, and tempering recipes. Here we go. Aspect of the Aphogic Fury, offensive, casting an ultimate skill. I think we have seen this a while ago. I think at the early post. So 10%, and then now from 155. So I think they have reduced it to 155, and then they further reduce it to 100. Okay. At 10 stacks, your cooldowns and this bonus are reset. Your cooldowns and bonus are reset, and then you have to cast it again. And it says your cooldowns. It didn't say your ultimate cooldown. Does it say any cooldown? All of your cooldowns will be reset. And then the Vehement Brawlers aspect. Casting ultimate skill increases your damage and then gain +2 to additional ultimate skill ranks. So if we can place this to a two-handed weapon so that it will stack up to 100%. So 10 stacks, so it will start at 60%. 10%, and then it will go up to 100%. Okay. Barbarian, we're gonna skip the Barbarian, the Druid. Alright. Necromancer. Casime's Legacy. I think there's no changes on the affixes and the unique power of the Casime's Legacy and the Indira's Memory. Still the same. Still the same. Aspect of Distilled Anima. Is it anima or anima? Anima. Animal. Anima. So aspect of Distilled Anima. So while Soul Rift is active, you are unhindered and gain 1% increased movement speed per absorbed soul. This lasts 5 seconds after Soul Rift ends. Okay, that is good. So probably if you're speed farming, instead of using the what I usually use, the metamorphosis or the wind striker, or the what is that? The usually, now I forgot that mobility skill that I always used. Give me a second. What is that? The slaughter aspect. That's the one that I usually use for speed farming. When you're not, if you are not hit for the next 2 seconds, you gain an amount of movement speed. So Bone Duster. So we have seen the Bone Duster. So Bone Spear is now guaranteed to overpower enemies within the Bone Prison, and then it will deal increased damage. And then we have a new tempering recipe. Dreadful augments, rank to fuel by death, ranks to finality, ranks to Titan's fall. I don't know what kind of augment, a new weapon. So this is an offensive aspect. I'm looking forward for a tempering affix, a utility or a defensive for the Army of the Dead. Okay, so we're gonna skip the other classes again. I'm just gonna slowly scroll down. Balance update. So we're gonna scroll the Barbarian. I'm just gonna focus on our Necromancer. Paragon board. Okay, Druid. I think after Druid will be the Necromancer. Keep scrolling down. Scrolling down. Scrolling down. Here we go. Necromancer, Blight. So the Blight got a essence cost reduction from 25 to 20. That is good. Enhanced Blight. Previous Blight's radius is increased by 15%. Now Blight's radius is increased by 15%. Directly hitting an elite with it doubles the damage of its defiled area. So the defiled area double the damage on hitting an elite to the defiled area. This refers to the pool of Blight. That's the one who will do the damage over time, and it will now deal double damage when hitting an elite. This is good. This is good. This is very good. Now let's go back. Where is our no save. Blight skill tree. Blight's radius. Before, it's only radius. So now the enhanced Blight is it adds a double damage to elites when they are inside the defiled area. And we can temper, we have a tempering affix wherein we can increase the pool of Blight. This is good. This is good. And then paranormal Blight. Paranormal Blight is what? Blight chance to instantly freeze. Can I go back again with the season 6? Chills enemies for 15% every second. That's it. Now they have changed it to this. Okay. Are they doing this because of the dark? No. Is it because of the are they preparing something for this paranormal Blight for the unique two-handed? Is it a scythe? A two-handed scythe. That unique scythe that I'm talking about is the what is that? The Bloodless Scream. But unfortunately, you cannot freeze the boss. So those huge multiplier for the darkness skill is not going to work on the boss. And then the Bone Spear damage increase from 85 to 100. I believe this is the the basic damage of the bone spear, so they have increased it for an additional 15%. Okay, then supernatural bone spear. Bone spear now deals overpower, and then we get a maximum life, which is very good. Paranormal bone spear, so this is the one. Bone spear now has a 5% more crit chance, projectile critical strike, 2 more shards, and upon expiration you get 10% maximum essence for 5 seconds. Okay, I'm still thinking. I know because of the Ratmas Vigor now has a, maybe I'll discuss it later once I arrive on the Ratmas Vigor. Enhanced Sever. I haven't played Sever. It's just I just only play build of the Necromancer that I find fun to play. But I heard that the Sever is doing good this season. So now they have also buffed the Sever. So now every third cast of Sever fears enemies. This is what I don't like. Fear. Because the problem with this crowd control effect, for example, you what you call this? Pull them with your tendrils. So when you fear them, then they're gonna move away. They're gonna run away because that is the effect of the fear. And basically, as far as killing monsters are concerned, we want to group the enemies as much as possible so that we can kill them simultaneously, more frequently. But with the fear, then it's like it counteracts the effect of the crowd control of the corpse tendrils. And then supernatural sever. Sever deals increased damage for each minion up you have upon cast and spawn a corpse at its endpoint. Was there an update also on the Blight that I haven't seen? I think there was an update regards to or I think it's on the passive skill tree. Anyway, so Soul Rift, new functionality while soul draining from a boss. Soul Rift now additional also drain up to 2 other enemies at the same time. Every 30 seconds soul consume refills. Every 30 souls consume refills one of your healing potion with the lifeblood of your tortured victims. Okay. Soul Rift maximum stacks increase. So this is I'm intrigued of this new update for the Supreme for this 2 enhancement of the Soul Rift. So maximum stacks increase from 30 to 100. And then damage bonus reduced from 1 to 0.5 per soul absorbed. Before, the Soul Rift is providing increased damage of 30%, a maximum of 30%, because that is our maximum stacks, and the bonus being generated is 1% per soul absorbed at a maximum of 30. That's why 30% increased damage maximum. Now it seems like it was nerfed because the number of soul damage per soul reduced is 0.5. But the maximum stacks is now increased to 100. So the way I understand this, so 0.5, so meaning the maximum stacks, the Soul Rift is now every soul absorbed increases your damage from 0.5 up to 75%. This bonus persists for 5 seconds after Soul Rift ends. And then you have a 100 stacks. But on the tooltip here on the Soul Rift, it doesn't say about the maximum stacks though. Where is it? I don't know what is this statement is. Probably this is, I would say, just the important part. It increased by, the bonus is from 30 to 75. That's it. And then Prime Soul Rift. Soul Rift now extract twice the souls from enemies and applies vulnerable to them for 3 seconds. And after it ends, all surrounding enemies are feared. Again, are feared and slowed. Slowed is okay, but feared. Again, we are making the enemies run away. And then now the Blood Mist is baseline damage is increased from 2% to 35%. And then the Ghastly Blood Mist. Now Blood Mist is now mobility skill that grants 30% movement speed, spawning a corpse every second and applying vulnerable every 5 seconds to enemies. Vulnerable for 5 seconds. And then Dreadful Blood Mist previews. Now you gain 15% crit chance and then 10 critical strike damage for 5 seconds after Blood Mist ends. Okay. Bone Prison. So the Bone Prison cooldown has been reduced from 18 to 15%, which is good. Enhanced Bone Prison. So 15 seconds. So 15 seconds if you add, say, reduce it. Okay. Enhanced Bone Prison. Enemies with bone within Bone Prison when it appears are made vulnerable and take 15% more damage for 8 seconds. This is also good for build that are using the Bone Prison. You're gaining an additional damage again. And then Dreadful Bone Prison maximum cooldown reduction increase from 3 to 5 seconds. So if you have this one, when the Blood Wave spawn at the end, after the Blood Wave ends, it will spawn a Bone Prison. Equipping this, does it adds a cooldown reduction? I believe this Dreadful Bone Prison, this is the one that when you prison an enemy, based on the number of enemies that you prison, it will reduce the cooldown. Bone Prison. This one. Sorry, let's go back. This one. Reduce your active cooldown by 0.5 seconds for each enemy trapped by Bone Prison, up to 3 seconds. Now, Ghastly Bone Prison. No, not that one. Dreadful. Yeah. So now Dreadful is now max cooldown reduction increased from 3 to 5 seconds. Max cooldown reduction increased from 3 to 5 seconds. Okay. So it's still the same, 0.5, but the maximum reduction, say if you have 5, so that is 10 enemies. So if you have 10 enemies, then you trap them, so 0.5 times 10, so that is 5 seconds. It is now not limited to 3, which is also good. And then the Ghastly Bone Prison, now before you're only gaining essence per enemy trap. Now it is now a fixed 40 essence per casting, not trapping. For every cast of Bone Prison, you gain 40 essence, and then trapping the boss generates another 25 essence at a total of 65 essence, from the way I understand this. So regular enemy, we are casting the Bone Prison, 40 essence. Trapping the boss, 65. I think if you're playing a pure Bone Spear build, this is also good. I believe... Give me a second. Because the Bone Prison... the Bone Spear still spend resource. And since you're using the Blood Wave to fuel the damage of your Bone Spear, You are losing to generate essence when you cast the Bone Spear, plus the additional life cost when you cast it. So every time at the end it spawns a Bone Prison, now it provides that essence at least. Okay. Therefore, we need the Grim Harvest for that 6 essence per consumption of corpse. But if we are attacking so fast, we need essence per second on our gear. Okay. Okay. That is also a part that I need to check, whether are we still gonna consume essence on top of the 10%, or is it just a 10% max life? Because now that we have solved the problem of the life cost for that Indira's memory, now our problem is generating essence. And Blood Wave is not a ultimate skill that generate essence, unless you're gonna pick up the Blood Orbs, and then you're gonna equip with Blood Orbs essence when you pick up Blood Orbs. You can either use the Potent Blood or the Resource Tempering Affix, but we need there is the ultimate skill cooldown. And then Army of the Dead, damage increased from 90 to 120, now has the summoning tag. And then at rank 5, Army of the Dead is increased by 40% instead of the 125 of our Skeleton Mage and Golem damage bonuses. I think the reason why it is not the Skeleton Warriors are not included, it's because they have a very low scale. They have low damage scalers. Even their passive tree, they only have 15% compared to the Golem. Especially the Golem is 25%, and then the Skeletal Mage is 20%. So basically, in terms of the value of the damage that it can contribute for the Army of the Dead, is just it will be outperformed by the Golem and then the Skeleton Mage. Okay, next is Blood Waves. So knockback, rank 5 Blood Waves damage is increased from 100 to 30, and then while healthy, and 30% of your damage while healthy, and damage while fortified bonuses. So does it mean, because we still have those damage while healthy and then damage while we are fortified, does the 30% seems like it adds and scaled the damage while healthy and the damage while fortified bonuses? So I think it's multiplying two separate values but combining it together. Where's my game? Let's go back. No, I'm just porting it out so that it will not be disconnected from the game, so that I still have that music at the background. Okay, Bone Storm damage at rank 5 increased by 30% of your critical strike damage bonus. The following skills, the following skill tree upgrades will which directly dealt damage will now scale up their damage, which increases skill ranks of the base skill. So that is the Blighted Corpse Explosion and then Enhanced Decompose. So I think if you're using the Blighted Explosion, somehow I think the damage scaler of the Blighted Explosion doesn't scale when you increase the Corpse Explosion. It's like the only basic Corpse Explosion that increased, but not the Blighted somehow. I think that's what they meant here. So when you increase the Corpse Explosion, if you use the Blighted Explosion enhancement, then it will scale properly. And then passives, Reaper's Pursuit. This one. Each darkness skill on your skill bar gain 2% movement speed and 2% more damage. So when I'm going to update my Blight build planner, so I'm gonna pay attention on adding more darkness skill on my skill bar in order to take advantage of that damage and the movement speed. And then amplify damage, now 4% increase to cursed and feared enemies. These bonuses can stack. So if the enemies are cursed and also feared, then you have a double increased damage. Alright, that is good. Though I still don't like the feared though. How about slow? Right? How about slow? Maybe slow is better, but I really don't like the fear. Like, can't you imagine that you group all those enemies together, and then when you fear them, they're gonna scatter across. They're gonna scatter across the map, like running away, like those silly what you call this? Have you seen a? It's like, have you seen a group of ants eating something, like say a dead insect, and then you blew some air on them? Have you seen that effect? So those ants are scattered. They're gonna start running away. So that is the same. That is what's going to happen on those enemies when they get feared. It's like they're gonna run across the map. Especially unless your enemies are those slow enemies. What happens what happened to those fast and very fast moving enemies? So it's like you're gonna find them again, and then you're gonna kill them one by one, or you're gonna group them up again. But again, when you fear them again, then they're gonna scatter again. So I don't know. I think instead of fear, slow may be much more better here. Anyway, Hellbent Commander. So Hellbent Commander, I think there's nothing significant change here. It's just they fixed the text that the increased damage is not just on the minion but to the summoning damage. So now the summoning damage is now a general damage with regards to summoning. But take note, there is some aspects and damage scalers like the cult leader legendary node, that the damage scaler of that node is only for the minions. It will not scale the army of the dead. It didn't say that the cult leader will increase the summoning damage, only the minions. So I'm still thinking whether, I know I'm bringing my minions, the skeletal minions. I don't know, maybe they will still help, especially the mages, on adding more damage. Especially they will also get the benefit from that the unyielding commander when the army of the dead is activated. So because I still don't know whether I still need to invest on attack speed if the attack speed is not synchronizing with the frequency of the volatile skeletons. Because I have reviewed my gameplay yesterday when testing the frequency of the volatile skeleton. They are the same. Whether my attack speed is only 12% and then 100%, the number of volatile skeleton that was spawned, it's still the same. Anyway, so Hellbent Commander, where am I? Hellbent Commander. So yeah, so it's just still the same. Then Coalesced Blood. Now the Coalesced Blood is not just a increased damage to the blood skills, but also to all skills, as long as the condition is damage while healthy. So like this one, the damage while healthy from where is that? Damage while healthy. This one. This 30% that the blood wave will increase, this includes this one. So anyway, so moving on, spike armor now gain thorns, armor, and then block chance. I don't know what they are planning with the block chance. Are they planning on adding a new aspect that your goal is to block, and then is it going to be incorporated with the thorns build, like when you block you explode your thorns damage or something like that? And then the Ratmas Vigor. So Ratmas Vigor now have the 120% overpower damage. Now this one, with regards to the Indira's memory, for the Blood Spear build, I'm still thinking whether is it more in terms of damage, is it better to go with the key passive Ossified Essence or the overpower damage of the Ratmas Vigor, considering that we can overpower using the Bone Dusters if we have the Bone Prison casted on the enemies, because we can take advantage of the full advantage of the increased critical strike damage with the Bone Graft board, and then equipping with the Ossified Essence, the Serration aspect that will increase our critical strike damage maximum of 45%. So now we have overpower and more critical strike damage altogether. But the 120%, of course, is still big in terms of doing overpowering. So the question of, are we okay without the Serration aspect, since I think damage scaler, with regards to the damage scaler of the Bone Spear right now, there is already a I would say numerous number of damage scalers from the Indira's memory for its new upgrade, the overpower, also on its the enhanced Bone Spear, right? Compared to the Blood Surge, I feel like the double damage, if you have almost 200 plus essence, right? If you have 200 plus essence, and take note, maybe it's still okay to use the Ratmas Vigor. With regards to the increased critical strike damage, we can equip the Deathless Visage. Anyway, I'm gonna check this, and then which one is better with the Ratmas Vigor, or because for the Ratmas Vigor key passive, we're only taking advantage of this overpower, whereas for the Serration, the Ossified Essence, not just with regards to the Ossified Essence, you need the essence. Because if we are investing on essence and then overpower, I feel like we are like kind of diverted into two different damage scalars, essence and then overpower. Would it be better just to invest, if you want to do a critical strike build, go ahead with more critical strike damage and go ahead with the Ossified Essence, or going with the Ratmas Vigor and then just keep scaling using life, scaling with life and then overpower? But I feel like overpowering is much more better than investing on the essence for the Ossified Essence, considering, because I'm still thinking with the with regards to the cult leader, the Bone Graph. The Bone Graph doesn't have, it has a very low multiplier though. So going back with our Bone Spear, so Bone Spear, yeah, okay. Bone Spear, where is my Bone Spear? So Paragon board. What is my paragon word? Bone graph, finality, oh sorry, frailty, flesh eater, blood begets blood. See, we can replace the bone graft with the blood begets blood. Oh sorry, the blood bathe aspect. Oh, what are you doing? The the blood bathe paragon board. The, what's wrong with you, sir? Blood bathe. Is it blood? Maybe because I pronounce it as blood bathe. I'm referring now. My pronunciation is referring to the blood bathe aspect, that double surge, the additional blood surge. I think I think the proper pronunciation of this is just bloodbath. The bloodbath paragon board. Anyway. So yeah, so we can replace the bone graph with the bloodbath paragon board, which gives a now 100% increased overpower, plus it provides an additional 25 increased blood skill damage. And take note, when we are wearing the Indira's memory, our blood spear or the bone spear is now a blood skill, which is can take advantage of this of the blood of the overpower and the blood skill increased damage. All right, moving on. Affliction, explosion damage, replaced with critical strike damage bonus. Okay, legendary aspects. Numerous legendary aspects from Spiritborn are becoming available to the Necromancer, which supports its block archetype. Oh, before I forget, speaking of the runes, sorry, with the witch power, I saw on the campfire chat that there is a new that were not introduced on the on this one. It is the psyche. And yesterday, I want to correct myself. I kept pronouncing psych. The pronunciation of this is psyche. I keep on saying psych yesterday. Okay, the one I'm talking about, I believe it's not here also. It is the final will, if I'm not mistaken. It is the final will psyche witch power that gives a increases your overpowered damage when you kill enemies after killing 2 enemies, reaching at maximum of 100% increased overpowered damage. I believe it's okay when you are farming, probably farming Inferno hordes, because you can still use it on the pit. The only problem there is, if you are dealing with a boss that doesn't spawn an ads, you cannot take advantage of that. Maybe for clearing on the pit, it will have some purpose. I mean, 100% increase in overpower damage, right? That is good if you are doing overpower. Anyway, title. So now, blood wave fire additional waves, each dealing to up to 204. So I was wrong. So before it was 120, now they increase it now to 240, which is good. However, the title can no longer recast until the last wave ends, and this one is still okay, but not okay to the spirit wave build now. It's because the spirit wave, in order for you to cast those bone spirit from the blood orbs, now you need to wait until the 3rd wave ends before you can recast it again. So same thing, this is also a problem with the Casime's legacy, the wave slapper. So when the 2 waves converge, so when you move to a next location, if the blood wave doesn't follow you, So it keeps on spawning, and you need to wait for the third wave to spawn before you can cast it on a new location if you're using the tidal aspect. But of course, you need the tidal aspect to spawn more blood orbs in order to reduce the cooldown of the blood wave. So I'm still gonna check out how, if it's still viable to play the unique pants Casime's Legacy. And then they have increased the gore quills from 60 to 80. Bloodseeker, they have also added a 40% increase in critical strike damage, and this is huge. This is good. I think Bloodlands is going to be good in terms of especially on killing a single target. Now it increases more. It provides an increase on the critical strike damage. And then Cadaverous, I think they just added a ultimate skill, and still same value of multiplier. And then of the void, this is the one that pulls the enemies from the blighted defiled area, and then pulls in enemies and has a 50% chance to stun them for 3 seconds when it appears, which is good. Plunging Darkness, Bone Prison, now darkness skill, and spawn a pool of blight that deals bonus damage over 6 seconds. So now Bone Prison is now a darkness skill and spawn a pool of blight that deals damage. Okay. Unyielding Commander. So Unyielding Commander now is just the same. They just changed it from minions here to deal increased damage, but it refers to summoning. Summoning still refers to the minions. And then anything that has a summoning tag, which is including the minions and the ultimate skill Army of the Dead. So this Unyielding Commander, not just it increases the damage of your Army of the Dead, but it also empowers the minions, because this summoning damage is still for the minions also. So not just the minions are fueling the damage of the Army of the Dead when casting the Army of the Dead using the with the Unyielding Commander equipped, then you're also increasing the damage of the minions. So the Army of the Dead build, along with the minion, along with those skeletal minions, most likely we will be sacrificing the Golem would still be okay, because the Golem, with sacrificing it with the sacrificing the the iron, will increase our critical strike damage, which still gonna be beneficial in terms of the damage output of the Unyielding Commander, since we're going to invest on, well, we're not going to invest on the critical strike damage. We're gonna invest on Golem damage, because the Golem damage have a large damage bonus scaler, which is beneficial for increasing the damage of our Army of the Dead also. And then Great Feast, still the same. They just added they just changed it and adding the summoning damage term here. And then Blood Moon Breaches. Now the Blood Moon Breaches is no longer for the overpowering, but this is more on the minions. Golem Mastery, Hellbent Commander, this is good. And then now you deal increased critical strike damage to enemies affected by your curses. I'm still thinking, well, I think it's not going to be efficient. Even though there is a increased critical strike damage here, what I'm thinking is, oh no, because this is a pants, we cannot use this on the Blood Spear, because the Blood Spear is using already a unique pants. So if we cannot equip this Blood Moon Breaches anymore. Anyway, so Deathless Visage. Now Bone Spear deal 40% increased critical strike damage and forms echoes. It's no longer leaves behind echoes, but forms echo. The only question here is, where does the echo form? does it form besides the enemies, which is, I would say that would be good. So you don't have to keep your distance. You can be up close, or if you're dealing with a melee bosses or elite, then you don't have to worry about those echoes forming far away from the enemies. And then burst for physical damage, and then increase 5 for every 25% of your critical strike damage. Okay, then lidless wall. I think it was already mentioned a while ago. Lidless wall, when you have active bone storm, hitting an enemy has a 50% chance to spawn, and then 15% chance to spawn a bone storm around their location, and then each sacrifice bonuses increases the chance for by 25%. Each bone storm grants 20% critical strike damage. Okay. Then Paragon Board Wither increases the intelligence cap to 2000. This is very good. Then Bloodbath from 70% to 100%, and then an additional 25% increase on blood skill damage. Then Tempering removes rank of spike armor, so it can be found on the Torn Army recipe. That's it. That's it for the update for our Necromancer. Then of course Rogue, I don't need to tackle the Rogue and then the Sorcerer, so just bear with me as I scroll down further if there's any legendary aspect. No, that's still for the Sorcerer. Unique, Paragon, I think we're almost done. Nightmare Dungeons. Cold Totem, a new affix has been added. So this is the affixes for I think a new affix has been added. Elemental totems while in combat. One of 3 totems can spawn. The cold, demonic, and spirit totems. Affected monsters slows players. Demonic affected monster move and attack faster. And then spirit totem. Monsters have revive when killed, and then buff inside the area. Totems can be destroyed attacking them, but they slowly lose health over time and destroyed on their own after 20 seconds. Okay, so it's just they added a new affix that adds a difficulty on those Nightmare Dungeon. Seasonal Nightmare Dungeon. This is the one that I was not paying attention to. It says seasonal rotation. Is this like they will start, for example, at the start of the game, say this is the first that going to spawn? Say this is for the Nahantu. Of course, for the Nahantu, one region that will spawn. Oh, sorry, one dungeon at a time, because it is a one region. So is this the cycle? Does the rotations means the cycle? So if you have the Farai Cliffs, so you're expecting Feedy Grounds later, and then Malice, then Remains. So say if you don't have the Malice, and then this one was spawned, you're expecting this one. And then let's say you have this one, so all you need to do is wait for, like, for example, if this is newly spawned, then you have to wait for because this one lasts, I think, an hour. So 2 hours, 1 hour. So this one is 1 hour, another hour. So 2 hours for you to wait for your hallowed stones that you can use the hallowed stones after that. Same thing with this one. Maybe I'm gonna take notes and copy this list, and then if that is how it works, because I don't know what does the seasonal rotation means. I feel like, for example, this is the first batch. So if you see Forbidden City this, and this, then the next one would be this, and this. So that you can check the so that you would know. But I don't know if it's on the let me see, is it on the where is it, the map? Yep, leave dungeons. I thought this one shows the is this the one? I think this is not the one. I think this map for this build for the D4 builds website, I believe it's just a it shows you the where to find this and that. But I believe there is another website. I remember there was this website called the Hell Tides, wherein you can check where the chests are. Like it is active every day, and it is aligned with the time, and then where the area is spawning, and then where the chests are also spawning. So what I'm looking for is there any like a website that shows like this is the rotation, and then what is the next rotation, so that you can plan ahead based on the sigils that you got, so that you would know, you can save the sigil. For example, if you're playing for the next 2 hours, then whatever sigil that you have, then at least you have the plan to save, and what dungeon that you have that you can able to play within that hour that you're going to play, if that makes sense. Especially if you have only a limited time, say you can only play 1.5 hours, and then this is the sigil that you have. What are the current dungeons? And then is that how the rotation works? Like for example, say based on this list, the last active dungeon that is on this list, say the active dungeon it shows is the Howling Warren. Say if you have the Muddock's Watch, so this is the next batch. So the next batch would be, I don't know how many batches per hour. Is this the one that's going to spawn soon, something like that? So I'm gonna copy this list, and then I'm going to observe that on the game if that is correct. Because why they have to mention about the seasonal rotation, or is this all of the dungeons, and then there are some missing dungeons here, and this is what they call the seasonal nightmare dungeon rotation, and then others were removed for now for this season. But based on the number of the dungeons here, it seems like this is everything. I mean, because it says here there are 135 dungeons. It says here on the map here. It's not showing on the screen, but it shows, oh sorry. Filter, how about, okay, dungeons, and then fractured peaks. How can I filter them? Because it says here 135. How can I filter the Anyway, I'm gonna check this out and then count the actual number of dungeons if my assumption is correct. Anyway, so incense, I think incense update, so they have also increased the incense. I think there is I would say 300 times the increase of the values or the bonuses of the incenses, which is good. Loot updates, chance for ancestral item to drop has been increased. And then general chance for an elixir to drop from elite monster has been reduced. Minimum roll for legendary aspect on an ancestral item is now equal. So this one, the minimum roll for a legendary affix on a ancestral item is now equal to the max roll of a non-ancestral item. I think what it means here is that for legendary affix, if I'm not mistaken, the first tier is 1 to 16 and then 17 to 21. So the legendary affix will go up to 16, but for the ancestral item is now, I would say, gonna be rolling higher. Maybe not 17, maybe at least half, and then close to the tier 16, and then it goes up. Because what happened is, I think there are some instances, I think, that the reason why you cannot get the maximum tier of the Codex of Power is because of the ancestral items can still roll a lower tier roll affix. See, the minimum roll of a legendary affix on an ancestral item is now equal to the max roll of a non-ancestral item. So those 750 item power, they can go up to tier 16. Now, the aspects of the the minimum roll for a legendary affix. So they're talking about affix, but I think it's the same for the Codex of Power also. I think this is also the same as the Codex of Power also. The legendary affix, so those values like say intelligence 100 to 120. So for the ancestral items, the affix roll will, the lowest one will be the highest one of the 750 item power. But I believe they have also changed that for the ancestral items roll. Even for the codex, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they have mentioned it on the campfire chat. Then a new whisper caches has been added. Collection keys will include infernal compasses. Well, I would still like the gold on the whisper cache rather than the keys, the gem fragments. What else? Yeah, I need gold. Unless, I think they have changed. There was an update with regards to the infernal hordes, wherein the amount of the gold on the gold spoils has been increased. Overall drop chance for gem fragments has been reduced. Okay, variance for the roll of the variance on the roll of a unique item's power has been reduced. Additionally, the variance of the strength of the power further reduces for each greater affix present. Yeah, I think this is the, refers to the greater affix. So this is the one that I have talked about when I got the triple affix on the 3 GA ancestral Banished Lord talisman, wherein I have triple GA but the unique power is too low. So the more greater affixes, the I think the variance, meaning it reduces the variance, meaning you will not get a very low roll when you have the more greater affix that is present on the item. And then the greater crafting whisper cache has been adjusted. It's now normal cache, so it will appear more often. Now contains four times as many crafting materials other than caches would drop. Greater crafting. I think crafting materials, unless it refers to the Obdusite. I'm gonna check this out. How many items that it will provide, because again, I still need gold. I still need gold from the Whisper caches. Gold is more better. Inherent affixes for critical strike damage on base items has been increased to match the range of inherent vulnerable damage affixes. Okay. Any affixes that are inactive due to being incompatible with your class will be explicitly called out as disabled on item tooltips. Items and affixes that are not usable by your current class will be explicitly denote which classes can use them on the tooltip using class iconography. Okay, the following list details what affixes are now class restricted and have had the class they are restricted to updated. I think, okay, I believe these are the I think it also refers to the tempering affixes on the tempering manuals. Like the ultimate cooldown is now restricted to Necromancers. And then Thorns, this is for the Barbarians and Necromancers. Bonus crowd control to the Barbarians and Sorcerer. Then casting ultimate restores resources. This is for the 4 classes. And then basically, I think I have already discussed this. Is pretty much straightforward for the summons. So this is the update for the how the summoning damage are now being more consistent with regards to increasing the damage of our minions. So not just the minions are inheriting 100% of our bonus stat, increased damage this, you deal increased damage, so you transfer that to minions, you increase damage to this, increasing your damage to that. So those are being transferred to the minions, and then the summoning damage itself will scale, I believe, the damage that you have, which also be transferred and will scale the minions also. So now there is no more minions here, minions there, summoning damage here, summoning damage there. But still, there are some. The good example is the cult leader. That this legendary node is intended for scaling the damage of the minions only. So that there will be a variety of making the minion build just for making the minions. And then you have the summoning damage, which is you're going to use the term those damage scaler called summoning damage in order to scale the damage of the army of the dead. Or maybe in the future there will be items or a skill for summoning, but it's in a different maybe a different type of minions, but they are summoning, so you're not really relying on the minion scaling damage, so that at least it will be now consistent. You don't have to worry, oh, this is for minions, this is for minions. So as long as if this is a minion, this is a summoning, so no more so you have a minion and then you have the summoning. So when you see summoning, okay, I have to invest summoning here. With regards to the minions, you still have for the minions, but you can also add the summoning damage. It will still be applied to them. So Infernal Hordes compass has been updated. So now the compass is now stacking up to 99. I hope in the future, I don't know, even for this, I don't think it's happening on this season, but I do hope that also in the future the boss mats should stack also, because they also occupies too much space on our inventory. Alright, user interface and user experience, and this is this. I think this is not a big deal. This is just pretty straightforward. There's nothing for me here to really discuss. Mounts, miscellaneous, monster density has been increased on the stronghold. Scroll of Nation will no longer drop. Any remaining scrolls on characters created on previous seasons can easily dispose of them. Okay. Oh, this one. This one was discussed on the campfire chat. The quest to unlock the class mechanic now only needs to be completed once per account. I still don't know, including the seasonal, or you still need to do it on the seasonal, but your other characters will already unlock the class mechanic. Or since you have unlocked on the previous season, it will automatically be unlocked on the next season. But you can still do the class mechanic quest, and then it will give a decent amount of rewards. As far as the campfire chat is concerned, they show that if you still do the class mechanic quest, it will drop a 2 legendaries and then a 1 tempering manual, and then those items are not just a random manual and legendary items, but they are a group of items that are going to benefit a certain build. Like for example, maybe the archetype cash will reward you for the minions. So I would say there will be one, say occult minion, and then one is say frenzied dead or reanimation, and then one tempering rare tempering manual, say golem damage, or what is the other one? Yeah, I think that's the only one, like minion damage, like for the golem, or the what is the other one? Just to have an increase on golem damage, or the weapon augments for the minions. Excuse me, double damage for the golem, or chance for double casting of the mages. And then this one, the Infernal Hordes, now gold chest now rewards more gold, but I don't know how more the gold is going to be rewarded next season, but we're gonna check that out. Completion of a class quest now rewards a, so this one, completion of a class quest now rewards completion of a class quest now rewards a cache of legendary loot tailored to the class. So this is the one I'm talking about. Scrolls of Escape can now drop in Infernal Hordes and Pit. Spirit Boons has been unlocked for the first time. Once Spirit Boons has been unlocked for the first time, Spirit Offerings will stop dropping for Druid characters. Okay, this is for the Druid. Bug fixes, accessibility, Infernal Hordes and Stronghold, fix multiple. Fix an issue, some enemies could become untargetable. Did they add the because I got scammed after killing the Fell Council, the greater spoils and the other spoils didn't appear. I've been scammed. I think it happened because I tried to kill all of the 3 Fell Council simultaneously. Actually, that was, I really intended to kill them simultaneously, and apparently after killing the last Fell Council, somehow there were no spoil rewards that appeared, and I have 998. I have 998, and I was so happy, like so excited to spend the 998, and then all of a sudden there's no spoil chest. Where can I spend it? I've been scammed. Fix an issue where Hex of Whispers was not displaying the correct 45 value Doom Orb. Fix an issue head rotten monster could spawn while blah blah blah. Fix ancestry of Whispers head runs didn't probably progress. Fix an issue this. Oh, speaking of witchcraft, I think before I discuss that gameplay, I think this is fine. Fix an issue where damage rolled incorrectly on items 750 and 800. Okay, I think they have changed some affixes here. The range of the I think it yeah, they fixed the roll of the affix. So I believe this is the one that I talked about a while ago. So for 750 is 42 to 50, then item power 80. This is the range. It's like minimum roll, higher roll than this, and then so on weapon it would always roll at 50. Now range is 42 to 50. Previous on weapon is 64 to 70. Now it's 56 to 70. Barbarian, Druid, Necromancer, Fiction, Affliction, Needle Flare, Shade Mist, could trigger Ring of Menden, Abyssal Glyph. I didn't experience this. Abyssal Glyph grant 21% instead of 10%. It granted 21% instead of 10. Fix an issue with a free cast of the Blood Artisan. So yeah, so the reason why I also didn't play the Blood Artisan's Cross or the Blood Wave, the Spirit Wave build, because somehow it is also bugged that the damage is scaling with your health, the maximum life, not just the your health. So it really scaled really greater than it's intended. Fix an issue while Soul Rift could overpower when using the Blood Boiled aspect. Okay. Fix an issue where Blood Orbs spawn from the tidal aspect and Blood Wave could overlap and appear as if the orbs did not spawn. Okay. Fix an issue where aspect of the curse aura would not gain 50% damage from the amulets. Okay. Fix an issue. I didn't experience this. Aspect of the curse aura would not gain. Oh, okay. Because I'm not placing the curse aura on the amulets. Fix an issue where movement speed could become difficult if Corpse Tendrils was assigned to left mouse button. Fix an issue where Ghastly Bone Prison. Fix an issue Bone Golem would not correctly deal damage. Would not incorrectly deal damage while you had bonus summoning damage. Rogue, I'm not discussing Rogue. Sorcerer interface, I think this is fine. Fix an issue miscellaneous. Alright, I think that's it. I was able to at least briefly tackle and discuss the patch 2.1, especially for the Necromancers. So on Saturday, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna start first with the Army of the Dead, and then the Surge, and then the Blight. Polish the build further. Like I know there were some things that I still need to change, especially because of the new update, especially with now we have seen the update from the patch 2.1. So I'm going to update everything, and then after polishing those existing builds that I have, then I'm going to build, and hopefully I will not spend too much time on those existing build that I mentioned on polishing them. My plan is to do a the Indira's Memory, the Blood Spear build, and make my build planner for that. And then what else? Probably prepare for the Casime's Legacy also. And then what else? I'm still wondering if with the new update on the Blood Mist, I don't know if I can still make a build using the Blood Mist and then using the Corpse Explosion. And I'm gonna check if I can make that build or not. What else I'm going to plan? Yeah, so Army of the Dead, Blood Surge, Bloodlands, and then the Blight. What else? The Casime, and then the Indiras. I'm gonna check if there's anything, any build that I missed that I need to update. And so basically, those are besides those planners, the build that I'm planning to play for the next season, of course, is the Army of the Dead, and then the Blood Spear, and then the Blight, and still with the Blood Search, and see how the based on this new update, are they performing much better compared this season based on the new update, even though we don't have the Blood Moon breaches. So yeah, so that will be my plan on Saturday, and then Monday, if all of the planner has been updated, my plan on Sunday, though I'm not going to stream it, so I'm planning to update and prep my thumbnails on YouTube to be tailored for this new upcoming season. So I will be changing my background, especially for the thumbnail on my uploaded videos on YouTube, and the what's it called? Sorry, I'm somehow I got lost on Twitch. Yeah, and then I'm thinking whether should I still farm Andariel on Monday, considering that I will be able to complete all my planner on Saturday. Probably instead of farming Andariel, maybe on Monday I'm going to complete those Nahantu map quest in order to unlock the +1 passive skill, the +4 Paragon points, and then the obols, so that I'll be able to, when the season start on season 7, so at least I can take advantage of those +1 on skill, +4 on the Paragon board, and then the obols. All right, so yep, that's it for me today, and it was I was surprised for all of the changes on this patch 2.1, and I'm very excited to play the build that I'm planning to play on next season. And Necromancer is doing well so far, and I'm happy that there's not so many big nerfs on the skills of the Necromancer, and I believe also on the other classes as well. And I'm happy and excited to play the new seasonal mechanic, although we still don't have some I would say end game mechanic besides the season theme. Hopefully we could have, or maybe at mid-season they will introduce some kind of a mechanic that we can do, because other than the pit, those are the only things that we're doing. Basically, we're farming Infernal Hordes, we're farming bosses to get those mythic items, and then we're just pushing ourselves. We are just pushing the builds. We're just pushing the builds on the pit. That is only our end game and our game event in order to push our build. Other than, I would say, farming the bosses, tormented bosses also. Well, Lilith is I believe if you have already the optimal gear, you can easily kill her. So yeah, so hopefully there will be like a new mechanic, and if you have the Vessel of Hatred, there's also the Dark Citadel, but you need to play with other people. You need to be in a party in order to get those weekly cosmetic rewards. So, and I think I forgot the name of those coins that you're going to collect to purchase some items, and I think for some crafting materials, but most likely players are going after for the weekly event, playing the Citadel because of the cosmetic rewards every week. Alright, that's it for me today, and I'll be streaming again on Saturday and polishing my build planner, which will serve as my guide for playing Season 7, and I will gonna share it on my YouTube channel as well. Once I have polish and play, I think my goal would be, so if I'm going to start with the Army of the Dead, I'm gonna play the Army of the Dead till if I will be able to push it to pit 90, and then once I have already figured out all of the best combination for the build, and then I'm just gonna upload it to my YouTube channel and make a walkthrough video guide, and then I'm just gonna share the build planner that I have created. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and see you guys on Saturday. Have a good one. Bye.